Alright, for this tutorial we're going to look at functional notation. We're going to work through a few of these questions from the practice worksheet. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at 1a. A function is given by f of x equals 6x minus 5. So we're going to write down the function f of x equals 6x minus 5. Now, part A says find f of 3. So this is probably the more straightforward way of using functional notation. You see that the x has been replaced by 3. So instead of f of x, we've got f of 3. You then substitute in, instead of x, you put in 3. So we've got 6 times 3 minus 5. You then evaluate that so that you have f of 3 equals 18 minus 5. So f of 3 is 13. So we have a solution for what f of 3 is. We've been asked to find here f of 3. So how else could that come? It doesn't always come with f, it could be h of a. Let's look at this one. So the function is given h of a equals 12 minus 2a. And we've been asked to find h of 4. So you can see that instead of a, we've been given 4. So we can then, instead of a, put in 4. So times 4. So that means h of 4 equals 12 minus h, when we have to do the multiplication first. So h of 4 is just 4. And that's you. Let's do one more of this type of function. Actually, I'm going to do a slightly trickier one here. We've got f of x equals x squared minus 4x. So we've got f of x equals x squared minus 4x. And you're being asked to find f of a minus 2. So instead of x here, we've been given a minus 2. So every time you see x, we have to put a minus 2. So here, instead of x, I'm going to put it in brackets because remember it's all a minus 2 squared minus 4 instead of x, a minus 2. So we're not going to have a solution. We're still going to, as in a number, we're still going to have a in here, but we just want to tidy this up. So f of a minus 2. A minus 2 squared, just be careful, you are doing a minus 2 multiplied by a minus 2, so we're going to have to multiply that bracket. This one here we can already multiply out. Minus 4 times a is minus 4a. Minus 4 times this minus 2 is plus 8. So f of a minus 2 equals, multiply out this bracket, a squared minus 2a minus 2a plus 4. Now I've done that quite quickly. If you're not sure about how to expand this bracket, then look at the expanding brackets tutorial. Minus 4a plus 8. Last little thing we're going to do is just tidy that up. So we've only got one a squared term, so a squared. We've got a minus 2a, minus 2a, minus 4a. So that's going to end up at minus 8a, plus 4, plus 8, so plus 12. So you've got f of a minus 2 is a squared minus 8a plus 12. So this is one way that you can have functions where instead of the x, you're given 3, or instead of the a, you've been given 4. Instead of the x, you've actually been given a minus 2. Another way that we look at functional notation is, we've got this one here. A function is given by f of x equals 5x plus 3. So f of x equals 5x plus 3. And in the question now it says, for what value of x is f of x equal to 23? So we've not been replaced, we're not replacing the x this time, we're replacing f of x. So f of x equals 23. So before, just so you can definitely see the difference, f of x equals this, find f of 4. It was just, instead of that x was put 4. Here, f of x equals 5x plus 3. Find x when f of x equals 23. So f of x equals 23. Instead of f of x, here I'm going to write 23 equals 5x plus 3. And we're going to solve that equation. Just going to switch them round sides. 5x plus 3 equals 23. Just switch them straight round. Take 3 off both sides. 5x equals 20. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 4. So instead of being asked what the function then equals, we have found that x equals 4. So let's do another one of these. On the next one it says h of t equals 20 minus 6t. So our function is h of t. For what value of t is it when, let's look at this one, when h of t equals negative 16. So just be careful again, we've been given what the whole function h of t is. So instead of that, we're going to write minus 16 equals 20 minus 6t. Right, I'm going to add 6t to both sides because I want to move that 6t over to the other side. So I'm going to have 6t minus 16 equals 20. Then add 16 to both sides. 6t equals 36. Divide both sides by 6, t equals 6. Right, I'm going to do one more question, which is the last one on the practice worksheet. So it's actually got a few different parts to it. So we'll work through the entire thing. It says a function is defined as h of a equals 33 minus 60. So I'm just going to write down that function. Evaluate h of 4, h of negative 1. So you can see that actually this time we're finding h of 4. So let's just work through all of this so you can see what the difference is. So we're finding h of 4. So instead of a, we've got 4. So you do 33 minus 6 times 4 minus 24. So h of 4 equals 9. That was part A. Part 2, find h of negative 1. So instead of a this time, we've got negative 1. So 33 minus 6 times negative 1. Just put it in brackets so you can put times in there as well. So 33 subtract negative 6. We're just saying 33 plus 6. So that's 39. So h of negative 1 is 39. We've now got, given that h of t equals 0, find the value of t. So we've switched from h of a to h of t, and then h of t equals 0. So first thing I'm going to do for part B is instead of writing h of a equals 33, we're replacing that a with t. That's the first thing we're going to do. H of t equals 33 minus 6t. That was our first step because we've got h of t. We're then told h of t equals 0. So instead of this side, I'm going to write 0 equals 33 minus 6t. I'm going to add 6t to both sides. So that I end up with 6t equals 33. Divide both sides by 6. T equals 33 over 6. Which if you wanted to write as a mixed number, 6 goes into 33 5 times. Remainder 3. 5 and 3/6, or we would prefer to write that as 5 1/2. And last step, it just says express h of p minus 2 in its simplest form. So we have to write h of p minus 2 first. So looking at what the function is, instead of a here, we're going to put 33 minus 6 times p minus 2. So in its simplest form, that means we're going to have to expand the bracket and simplify. 33 minus 6p plus 12, which is 33 plus the 12, we're going to put them together, 45 minus 6p. And that's you covered most of the work for functional notation, so you can have a look at some past paper questions.